Hello everyone. This video we're going to explain the important part of foundation. Now for adding foundation, we have different type of foundation: isolated, wall footing, combined footing, raft foundation, or step, any other foundation that you have that you'll be able to add it with the right way. Now to add foundation, if you have isolated footing, it's recommended that you have the columns, then add the isolated. If you have a wall footing, it's recommended to have the wall footing, then to add the footing. For the other one, which is combined and raft foundation, since they are not directly available there, you can add it and then move, or if you use a modeling plates, you can directly add the foundation, then add the column. So it's up to you when it goes for the combined or raft foundation, because you can use modeling plates to manage those. Now we'll start with the isolated. Doesn't matter, any of them that you're working with them to isolate it. If you're in 3D, you'll be able to see like this. Now the level is first story. We don't want to add to the first story, so basically you can, there's two ways. I was in 3D, so here I can change. Top of footing is where I want to add the footing. Then since in 3D I can use add column, so just simply click on this column, it's going to add it to the base of the column. It's in the 3D. So if I want to use control, I can add it to multi-column, then press finish here. Now if you don't want to work in the 3D, you can go to top of footing, and from there, when you add the isolated footing, you no longer see it here. Why? Because you're in a plan, already taking this one at the level, top of footing, you don't have any offset. Make sure you're checking those things. Sometimes if you change them, it will remain the same way. So this is what we're adding. The same way, if you don't see it from here, you can load the family. If you load the family, still you don't have it, you can go for edit type. From there, you'll be able to change the things that you have it. Length here, since it's isolated, so you have 2 dimension and thickness, you have it there. Now you can use isolated as a combined footing as well, but you have to move them and center them according to the column that you have it. That's possible. For example, if I want to add, this is between those two columns, this is the distance between them, 8 meters. For example, I'm going to change the length of this one to be 10 meters. 10 meters. It's possible to add it, but when it comes here, for example, it's like this. It's add grid or add column. I can say that. Add this column. I'm going to click on that column. It's going to add it for me there, but later I can rotate this one and assume that this is a combined footing. You may not have a lot of things here to manage it. Sometimes combined footing, they are irregular shapes, so by using this you'll not be able to manage them. You'll go for model in place to do. So for adding foundation is very easy. You have to have the elements. From there you just click on the element, add it. Later you can manage the way that you want it. Move them if they are not centered. You have the dimensions here. Be able to use, annotate, and measure the distance from the face to face. According to the plan, you will manage them. For the wall footing is similar. You just have to need a wall, foundation wall, concrete wall. To add it to the wall, just simply click on the wall. It's going to add it to the wall for you have. Now remember, sometimes you have interaction between the footings. If Revit automatically did not join them, you have to join so that you don't have any extra materials coming there. For example, I'm going to try to create this one. I'm going to add it to this column here. Let's say I'm going to rotate this one recording, rotate. Move this one a bit. Now you realize that those are intersecting them. Now if Rivet by itself join them together, then that's good. But if it does not join them together, you have to join. Now joining here, make sure that the material are the same, there are structural elements, then we can use in the modifying toolbar, and click on the join and then select the two elements or join them together. Make sure that if Rivet does not join them, you have to join them together. Why? Because this is the extra material when you're calculating the bill of quantity. Just pay attention for those things. Rivet by itself with the material the same, when you're creating perfectly, when you're doing things correctly, it will join them together with the same family, similar properties. You don't have any problem. It's going to join them together. But if you don't have the same material properties, the joining might not work. And this is enough of this part. If you want to add something by, let's say we want to add foundation by model in place in a structure, I'm gonna go click on the component and model in place. From there we said that we can use draw any shape that's not available, or you don't have it from the family, you can come to model in place and you can create this model in place. Now let's say I'm going for foundation, structural foundation. Now model in place, the name is important here. So for example, I'll say combined here, combined. I can name it, can have it, for example, the dimension. To remember, it's important. Well, if you go for the bill of quantity, let's say this is 10 meter by 1.5, by the thickness, let's say this 30.3, we have it. Those are meter. Now I name it so that later I can find it. Whenever I want to change something on that family, I can find it easily. I know which one it is. Now when it comes to model in place, it comes here. First thing is the plane of working. Imagine you have, repeat this one, imagine you have a box. Now you can create, because it's 3D, it is 3D, so imagine that you are creating a 3D box. You can work with this in 3 views. Now you can work in the top view, but there's something, if you understand how does model in place work, then you don't have any problem which view you want to work with. So imagine you have something in 3D. In 3D, like this. It's supposed to be connected. Now when it comes to model in place, this is the top view, which is the planes. Those are the elevations. Those are the elevations that you can work with. It doesn't matter which part you're working with. Let's say that I'm in the plan. In a plan means that I have to draw this area. If plan is active, I have to draw the top. And this is going to be the extrusion. That's going to be the extrusion that we have. We're going to use extrusion like this. You might not work in the plan, it's still okay. Sometimes it's easier to work in one of the elevation, but you have to know which elevation. If you're in elevation, you're going to draw this area, or you may draw the other one. But if you draw this one, you're supposed to know this will be the extrusion. You need this length or this one as an extrusion. So if you don't want to work with this side, it's still okay. You can work on the other side, on this side. But remember that when I say working with this side, it means that you are in elevation, because this will be seen in elevation, this scene will be top view. It's the top view, those are the elevation. If you want to draw this side here, this is going to be the extrusion. It's going to be the extrusion. So which side is easier for drawing? It depends on the type of element or the project. Sometimes you cannot see the thing that you're drawing in the elevation, so it's better to go for the top. Sometimes you cannot see from the top, or it's not easy through the top, you can go for the sides. It's up to the condition or the elements that you have it there. Now for me, drawing foundation, the top, it's easier for me, so I can plan, and the thickness will be, because if I draw the area, the thickness will be the extrusion. So first we're going to click, we are in a model in place, we're going to click on extrusion. Then when you click on extrusion, it will give you a lot of commands for drawing the thing that you have. Now drawing here, it depends how much you practice. There's an easy way to draw. Now, is this the column that we have it? So let's say that I'm trying to draw a rectangular. Let's say I'm trying to draw a combine between them. So let's say I'm just trying to draw or simply around them that I have it here. Now, how to adjust the dimension? I can use annotate by just giving some dimensions there. The dimension they have it there. Now, are those basically centered? Those can be adjusted accordingly. Now, you can always draw things. You could start from here. You could start from here if you wish to. For example, if this is the line, then I can adjust this, the outer one, accordingly. By changing those, I can simply click on one of the line, it will give me this dimension and I can change it. So if this is, so clicking here, I can change this one, for example, to 2. Remember, I clicked on that one. This will be, if what we wanted to do, 1.2. Let's make it 1.2. I could draw it in the beginning. I will use some of the modifying toolbars. You have different way to adjust these things. Let's say I'm clicking on this one and I'm gonna change this 9.9 to 10. Then if I want to adjust this one, I can select it. I can select all of it and use move command. For example, from the midpoint, bring it here. This is one I adjusted in this manner. Then if I want to adjust it to the other one, I have to use, let's say I know one of these, let's say it's from here, it's going to be, let's say 70, I have 0.7 from there, I know that it must be there, so make sure that if this is 0.7, if this is attaching here, this is okay. If you want to make sure that you're moving everything, you have to select the part that you have it. So by using control, I can select them. When you're moving something, or there's an easy way to move Revit by itself, you can just simply click on this one and try to move in this manner. But you realize that this is changed. Why? Because this part here, I can click back on it and make sure this is going to be 10. So this is going to start from here and that side became 10. If you don't like this way, in the beginning you could use line directly, start from this corner, go by 70, then draw the things that you have it directly, you will get fit. Whichever you prefer, it's up to you. Try to get some drawing techniques here in order to know. There's different ways that can be used. In a newer version, they're more versatile and more user-friendly, that changing is easier. Sometimes they're giving an equal sign here, it will directly automatically will make it equal distance according to the grid lines. This is possible that those things can be done. When you, before hitting, now here, material, make sure you're choosing the material, right? The material, and then the extrusion basically here, because I'm drawing the top, the thickness, it's gonna be the extrusion. I have it here. So the material you select, and make sure you select the same material that using for the rest of the concrete that you have it, so that the joining the things let's say I'm using this one for all of the members that I have it. Then make sure the extrusion is the thickness that I have. Let's say thickness here is 0.3. Why? Because I'm drawing the top. Remember, the extrusion will be. Now this can be minus, can be positive. This depends. Sometime taking the direction of the extrusion. Now if you couldn't guess it, just try to press finish. Now you cannot see through here. Go to 3D. Or then still you are here. Don't finish it. 3D. You will realize that if it is going down, you'll be able to see it. If not, go to one of the elevations to make sure that it is perfectly going down. Why? Because from the 3D view I couldn't see it. Now I know it's going down with minus. I use it there. This way I can work with model in place when you finish. So you can do anything, irregular shape, things that you don't have them in a family by model in place. Remember that model in place can be used for anything, but you're choosing whether the plan or the elevation to work with. Some of them they allow you to do it in 3D. Some model in place will allow you to do in 3D. Mostly can be done in the plan. In the elevation it's easier to do those. Model in place. So it's basically whether from here, those two, or from the model in place. Remember, model in place is something that the material must be selected, the extrusion, the plan of working, which one you want to plan with it. It depends on those things that you have it. Thanks for watching.